Merry Vlogmas, day 21. It is the winter solstice and Yule, I guess. This is just going to be, I think, a quick little Vlogmas today, related kind of to the solstice, related to something that I have personally experienced, particularly over the past 24 hours, but in general. So, as we know, the solstice is the shortest day of the year, and after that, the days start getting longer. The light comes in more strongly and things start to grow again. And I was thinking about my own self and my own cycles as far as my cycles of thinking, my emotional cycles, which I don't think anybody can always live on an even keel. We're always going through ups and downs or circles around. And I was thinking about how when my mind gets very dark, particularly if there are triggers that bring up anxiety responses. And I was talking to my sensei about this yesterday morning at weapons practice. When I'm having an anxiety response, or it could be depression or whatever, the mind feels very closed, it feels very dark, it feels very claustrophobic. And I've learned that I have to, whatever I'm thinking about, I have to start pushing out of that and broadening my viewpoint about whatever it might be, something I'm worried about, in which case, okay, what can I do? What kind of action can I take? And then even going to the, really big general stuff that we are just these tiny little dots in this universe, but we're all part of the same energy and things always change. So I was thinking about this morning about the darkness of the closed mind and finding those things that will let the light in the same way that, we're at the darkest day of the year and then light starts to come in again. So my own kind of personal little winter solstice in my head, for me, when the darkness and the claustrophobia really kind of take hold and I'm feeling, usually it's anxiety, not so much depression for me. I thought to myself this morning about the garden. For some reason, the garden came to mind, and it immediately brought this response of kind of openness and enthusiasm and light. So I know that when I think about the garden, whether that's something that's growing in the garden, whether what my plans are for the garden coming up, because now obviously it's winter time, but I'm thinking ahead to the springtime, that just immediately brings this wonderful sense of energy. And then the other thing for me is physically making artwork. That as well brings this, and it feeds on itself, it builds on itself. There's a momentum that starts going there because I think they are both creative exercises. So on this solstice, where we're getting the light to come in again after tonight, very gradually at first, obviously, and winter's still around for quite a while. I am committing myself or setting the intention to recognize when my own mindset gets dark and anxious and closed, to remember those things that bring in a sense of light and lightness and enthusiasm and a sense of connection, really. Because making artwork or working in the garden, it's not done in a vacuum. It goes out beyond just my own little personal experience. So yeah, so that's my little thoughts for this solstice, this Yule. And also to open up physically for the anxiety. I was talking to my sensei about that. He says that's, you know, and somebody else told me this too. This is a power pose, you know, with the legs spread and this as well, to remember that when that darkness is going on. Not that there's anything wrong with the darkness, you know. If we didn't have the darkness, we wouldn't have the comparison to the light. If it was always light, you know, it wouldn't be special. I guess. I don't know. We're just always making shit up, you know? We make shit up to make sense of this crazy world we live in. But I wish you all a wonderful winter solstice and Yule. And of course, I will be back again tomorrow for another Vlogmas. All right. Bye.